So, I don't know if you already knew this, but I am a lifelong Godzilla fan. I'll say this, if Blockbuster Video had a watch list for excessive Godzilla movie rentals, I'd be all over that shit. So after the extravaganza that was Godzilla vs. King Kong, I was ready for a darker, more grounded version of this enormous reptile that shaped my childhood. And you know what? They gave that to me. Am I the only one that misses the guy in the suit? Okay! This takes place in Japan right after World War II and the next couple of years after that. You got this dude who was a pilot for the Japanese that's coming home to just a decimated Japan. He connects with some other survivors and they start a new life together. And just as things are starting to look up for this guy, a giant nuclear lizard, nuclear lizard? Nuclear lizard. There it is. A giant nuclear lizard starts fucking shit up. So this guy is our main protagonist. I'm sorry, man. I don't know how to pronounce your name. I apologize. I said he was a pilot, but what I didn't tell you is that he was a kamikaze pilot, and he abandoned his mission. He survived while all of his war buddies died. This leaves him with this extreme survivor's guilt, and that's kind of a theme with his character throughout the whole story. This guy, sorry about the name, he did a fantastic job acting too. There were a couple scenes in there where I was just so crushed for him because I felt so bad. And his amazing performance didn't help how I felt. All the rest of the characters are centered around our main character. He's in every single scene of the movie, I'm pretty sure. He's in like 90% of the movie. You've got his makeshift family at home. You've got his co-workers on the boat that he works on, finding and destroying mines from the war. A stressful but sweet job. All these people have been deeply affected by war and they're just trying to start new lives. This movie takes the time to let us get to know all of them, and I liked every single character. Usually my biggest gripe with Godzilla stuff is the human cast, because you always have to have a human cast. Unfortunately, you can't just have Godzilla fighting something else for 1 hour and have that be the whole movie. I would love that, actually. You have to include human characters to balance everything out and give it some story. And the human characters and the story they gave us, chef's fucking kiss. Now, Godzilla, he's the young version of the Titan that we know and love. Definitely a different version of Godzilla. This is a creature that is created by nuclear war and it's figuring out how to survive. Then people shoot at him and he gets pissed off. And he wrecks shit and he kills people, and usually that's awesome, but here it's just really sad. And it's also awesome. Oh man! This is the best Godzilla movie. I fucking loved it. This is not the usual Godzilla shows up, army fights him, another creature shows up, Godzilla fights the creature, makes friends with people, and then he goes away into the ocean with the sunset. And the humans are standing watching him go away like, goodbye, Godzilla! This is people that just got decimated by World War II in a country that's just been decimated by World War II. And all of a sudden, a fucking monster shows up to further decimate this country. And the government doesn't do shit. And a small group of people has to come together and rise up and try to overcome this impossible obstacle. It's fucking sad and it's amazing. I love how these people choose to fight Godzilla too. They know they can't beat him with weapons and bombs. So they use science. Yes, science! So this is a young new Godzilla. He starts out small and he gets progressively bigger. And I still think his maximum size is the smallest Godzilla we've seen so far. Something I never realized before is how scary Godzilla is as a short king. When this thing is towering over skyscrapers, people are just ants to him. And in this sense, he's smaller, he just locks in to individual people. He's focused, and he's a predator looking to kill some shit. So then, when people shoot him, it's not just nothing, he does notice, and he's like, what the fuck you think you're doing? At this size, he's way more menacing. There is this one shot where Godzilla is pissed, and I legit thought he looked scary. Godzilla's never scared me before. In that shot, I was like, that's a scary monster. Mom, I saw a scary monster in the movie. Oh, and eventually when they give you the full reveal of what he looks like, they hit you with the... And I was immediately just hit with this nostalgia overload. It was overwhelming and fucking amazing. Oh, fuck yeah! Dude, his atomic breath, you know, this fire blast that he shoots out. In this, it's gotta be my favorite of all of them. You feel it, and it leaves behind this mushroom cloud, and it's absolutely glorious. Like I said, the story and setting are bleak, and you get this sad tone throughout the whole runtime. Something that surprised me was how anti-government this was. There were more than a few times where they outright trashed the Japanese government and their actions during World War II. And that rolls over into how this giant monster shows up, starts killing people, and they just ignore it. And this is a Japanese flick. I'm sitting there watching this, and the old punk inside me is like, oh, fuck yeah. Oi. This does lead into my issue with subtitles. This whole thing is in Japanese with English subs. I'm not a sub guy because when I'm reading, I'm usually missing other things that are going on. I have a hard time watching and reading at the same time. Fortunately, I'm gonna see this again, so I'll definitely catch anything I missed the second time around. The only other issues I had was more of like a editing preference. There were some scenes that they ended with fade outs, and I don't like how those transitioned to the next scene. That's it though. I don't think regular folks will give a shit about my editing preferences. This is a stripped down, simple, bleak, dark Godzilla movie. You've got these great characters in this dark time in our history. It takes all that and it turns it into this giant metaphor that Godzilla has always been. This is the type of Godzilla movie that I always want to see, and it's got the nostalgia and it's just the best. This is the best Godzilla movie, okay? That is a fucking fact, okay? See ya! Subscribe! There was a guy who brought his child into this, a child that could not read subtitles. He read every sentence out loud to his kid. Okay, 10 out of 10 for being a good dad. As far as the annoying audience member scale, 1 out of 10, fuck you, dude. Trying to watch something here, and I'm trying to read it on my own, and all I hear is you reading it to your kid. It's distracting, and I want to watch Godzilla trash shit and be able to read it on my own. Wait a second. I should have just sat closer to that guy. Then I wouldn't have had to read shit. Duh. Missed opportunity. Good dad, though. But yeah, fuck you, dude.